back to Cowboys Theory. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Like always, I'm your host, Big Angel.
I'm Little Angel.
And Cowboys Theory is getting right into it, okay? So the first things first is we're going to talk about the wide receiver core. We're pretty set with Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb. However you want to break those guys, 1, 2, 3. We know that's what the order is going to be. But there's a little bit of a change at wide receiver number 4. Don't know exactly who it's going to be, but what are your thoughts?
I think we need to bring back Tavon Austin. He didn't really have that big of a 2019 season. He only had like 13 catches for 170 yards and 1 touchdown. But bringing that veteran guy back can be helpful, and we need that twitch. That's that quick guy that every team has. You know, we have the big Amari Coopers, the CeeDee Lambs, but that a fast guy can really help us out.
So I agree with the quick twitch. I really do. My only concern with Tavon Austin is that the Rams. Oh, let me back up a little bit. So wide receiver 4 historically always plays some type of special teams, whether it's a return guy or a gunner. For us, Tavon Austin was the return guy, but he was a return guy with the Los Angeles Rams, and his special teams coach allowed him to be traded to Dallas, who is now our special teams coach, John Fossil. So, not signing him speaks volumes from the Cowboys front office point of view. If they haven't brought him in yet, chances are they're probably not going to be bringing him in, or he's going to be kind of an injury signee later on down the line. So I'm not sure about Tavon Austin. I know there's a bunch of fans, clamoring for him to come back. For me, I'm on the opposite end. I do think you need a small twitch guy, someone like a Cole Beasley. Taylor Gabriel, journeyman wide receiver, small, very small guy, 5'7", 170 pounds, but can absolutely stretch the defense. And he plays special teams. He can be a dynamic returner. Him and Pollard back there. I really think that's the way that the Dallas Cowboys should go. And he's a Texas guy. Yeah, he's from, I think he's Garland, Texas, or something like that is where he's from. Yeah. I know he's from East Texas someplace. I know he went to Abilene Christian for college. So he's a Texas guy. Why not, give a chance on a Texas guy who more than likely is already in the area for the Dallas Cowboys to come poach to play for this team. Speaking of free agents, who would you want to see the Dallas Cowboys bring in other than the big names that we've already talked about, i.e. the Jamal Adams, the Jadeveon Clowney's?
So I'm always stressing about defensive linemen and the run game all over us. We're always talking about sacks and all that, but we need that big guy in the middle. We have Antoine Woods and
Dontari Poe is also
a free agent. Not really a big factor, but we need a bigger guy. And Snacks Harrison, I think, is one of the biggest free agents out there who we could sign.
He's also from Dallas.
He is. Dallas. He's that big 350-pound defensive tackle that just clogs up the middle. And like I said before, those divisional games are critical because running all over us is frustrating. So I think signing him would be a big help to our defensive line.
I agree. I'm going to stay in the defensive line. If we don't go with Clowney, who I think might be a little bit overpriced for us, how about Everson Griffin? He's a veteran guy, plays for the Minnesota Vikings. We just happen to know Andre Patterson, the defensive line coach. Actually, he's now the defensive coordinator down there. For them to release Everson Griffin, I think it was more of a money move. A little bit older, 32-year-old, but he is still a guy that I think can, really do something and help this team out. We always see in baseball, or we're starting to see a new trend in baseball where they're bringing in, starters, right? You have your typical closer in baseball, and now we're moving into starters and then using your bullpen for the middle. Well, the Dallas Cowboys have 2 bullpen guys in Alden Smith and Randy Gregory. Why not bring in Everson Griffin to that starter role? He can teach these young guys, a few tricks, and having him opposite of DeMarcus Lawrence, can only help this team. And if, he hurts this team in any way, which I don't think he can, other than, his 2018, 2019 meltdown that he did have. Yes, he did have mental health issues, but look, he seemed to work through them, made his way back to Minnesota Vikings, so why not take a shot at him, So what do you think about Everson Griffin,
He's that defensive end, right? Defensive end that could come in and create a lot of plays for us, and don't really know too much about him, honestly. Don't really pay attention to it. But he's a big name out there who can have an impact still. He's like a veteran guy, older, but I still think he has a couple years left. So.
And while we're talking about free agency, there's a guy out there that intrigues me a little bit. Not a big name. Dallas Cowboys brought him in last year when he was a free agent. He decided to re-sign with the Indianapolis Colts. He's still a free agent right now. Robert Gathers. He's had a little bit of injury trouble, but he's your prototypical safety. He's your 6'2", 220-pound safety that can play both free and strong safety. When he does play, he's been very, very good. Why not take a flyer on a guy like that? At this point of free agency, unless your name is Griffin Adams or Snacks or Clowney, you're not going to be commanding too much money. You're not going to have too much leverage to be able to command too much money. So, I'm all for bringing Robert Gathers back in. It might be, though, it was the previous coaching staff that really liked him but didn't want to overpay for him. Maybe this coaching staff, feels opposite. But I do feel that, we might need a little bit more safety help going into the 2020 season. So, let's just keep our eyes open. And, man, we're really close to training camp. July's about to embark on us. We're about to get to see what training camp's going to look like. But sometimes there's guys that we just absolutely fall in love with that nobody else has heard of. So we like to call them pet cats. I'm sure everyone else has heard of the term pet cat. So who's your pet cat going into the training camp this year?
It was, small names. Donovan Wilson is a guy who come out of Texas A&M. Didn't really have a lot of opportunity last year because we're always sticking with the routines. I guess you can say the Jeffies, the Woods. But keep an eye out for him. Remember
Woods,
his name.
Xavier Woods.
But yeah, not a lot of opportunity. But I feel like if you do give him one, he will make the most of it and come out as a starter maybe for us one day.
Yeah, pet cat. Especially if Jamal Adams doesn't make his way onto town. That's a really good one. For me, I love the offensive line, defensive line. I think that's where you win in the trenches. My guy is Mitch Hyatt. For those of you who don't know, Mitch Hyatt. All-American left tackle. He protected Deshaun Watson when he was at Clemson on the left side, on his blind side. And then he also, blocked for Sunshine. What's Sunshine's name again? Trevor Lawrence. Okay, so we got Trevor Lawrence in there. And Mitch Hyatt was, the left tackle, like I said, All-American left tackle. Did not get drafted. Very surprising that he didn't get drafted. The Dallas Cowboys picked him up. He stayed on the team. He stayed on the practice squad. For the team just to not outright cut him and put him on the practice squad and try to grow, allow him to grow with this team says volumes, because when you turn on the tape from last year's preseason, it was atrocious. The guy forgot how to kick slide. The guy forgot, hand placement. He did not have his head on a swivel, especially trying to pick up stunts, especially in preseason where the stunts are very minimal and you can see them coming a mile away. For me, I think that those are all things that, you can coach and coach back up. He has the talent, he has the size. So that's my pet cat heading to the 2020 training camp. Okay, everyone. Here at the museum, we like to, bring out an item at the end of each segment. And the items that we have today are very, near and dear to my heart. I come from humble beginnings, like I said. So when the Dallas Cowboys decided to come down here to El Paso and do a scrimmage against the Houston Oilers, yes, I did say the Houston Oilers. My parents knew, or my mother knew, that I had to go to it. So just something that I've always done was collect. I was able to keep my program that I was able to buy, and I also kept my ticket stub to that game. It's in my heart. Collecting is just what I do. And shout out to my mom for taking me to this game. I had a fantastic time, and it's just a great childhood memory that I still carry with me today. So thank you very much.